Good morning. Well, we are on paint session number 6. This is the mixing video. So I just think that we're getting close to completing this painting, and that will be a good thing. We can then regroup and change a few things and move on to a new one. But today I'm getting excited about getting these clouds done, because that will give us that will bring us closest to finishing with a finished looking painting. And then also I think that I'm also going to try to put these rays in down here at the bottom. Last week, if you remember, I had attempted putting some color in all the way along through here as this looks. I'm not going to do that. I've just decided that's just complicating everything right now. We may try something like that later on when I become more familiar with my medium again. For right now, we're going to put this long ray in and a few little short rays up in here in, and we're going to call that enough. But today, and we'll go ahead and mix the color for that. But today we're gonna mix the color for these first. I think the only colors we'll be using will be the titanium white for the clouds, and we'll be using all these colors for the clouds. The Winsor red, the raw umber, the Payne's gray, and the Naples yellow. So let's go ahead and get our colors out. And I think that I took my marker and drew according to what I could see back here, because I'm across the table from the screen and I can't really see what I'm putting out on the palette, or what you're seeing on the palette from the other side. So I drew some lines right along the edge of where your screen should be picking up, or where my camera should be picking up what's going on the screen. So I think that'll just help me to stay pretty within the lines. I'll stay within the area that you're actually seeing, so hopefully that's not putting me outside of your viewing area at all. Last week I had just mixed just a tiny little bit of paint because I wasn't planning on painting as soon as the video is over. Today I am going to be painting as soon as the video is over, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of my paint out and mix the volume that I need. You remember that if you're not going to be painting right away, of course with you can always come back and mix just before your painting session. So, oops, I put out too much Payne's gray, or raw umber. I won't need that much, but oh well. We've had a little bit of a virus going on around here. That's the reason I haven't done any shorts, if anybody ever pays attention to my shorts. Kind of been in the house this past few days. But we're okay now. Everybody's on the mend. Aiden Connor is still more congested than I like to hear him be. Hopefully he'll be able to feel well enough to go to work in the morning. All right, let's get started. All right, got paint all over me. Let me get this one. All right, let's pull us some white up here. And let me get my t-shirt before I do anything, because I have nothing to wipe my brush or my palette knife on. So if I sound a little bit discombobulated today, more so than usual I should say, then we'll blame it on the residual effect of the virus. Okay, there we go. All right, let's add some Payne's gray, and I'm going to go ahead and make this darkest color that I see, and then I'll back it up with white as we go forward. You can always lighten and darken, but it's easier to lighten than to darken, because to lighten it you're usually just popping a little white in there. To darken it sometimes to keep your value or your hue or whatever that word is. you might need to add multiple colors to stay in that color family. All right. You can see how blue-gray that is compared to what we want. So we do want to add a little bit of Payne's gray, raw umber, and that's just going to change that color just the slightest bit. I'm thinking about doing something a little different in the next video series, and y'all can let me know what you think. Instead of doing the mixing, I think that I'm going to do one huge mixing video. We may even do an upgrade on the color chart, but that way I can just refer people back to the mixing video if they need a refresher. But instead of mixing for every painting, I'm just going to tell you the colors that I'm using, and you know, as I'm applying a color, I'll just tell you this is the colors that I used to make this color, and that way you can just go to your own color chart and say, oh, okay, well, these are the colors that she told me to mix, and that will work just fine. All right. If you see right here in the very top, we are still pretty gray, but I'm going to leave that gray alone and bring that color down to more of a gunmetal gray by adding a little bit more raw umber. These clouds, just to glance at them, you wouldn't maybe see it until you just really take a minute to look at them up close and personal. But there's a whole lot of color in there. And there's colors in there that let's leave that and go over with a little bit more burnt or raw umber. All these lights reflecting on everything. I hope that it's not glaring for you. It's a little bit glary for me. And I think that took us in the right direction, but I'm going to darken it a little bit with Payne's Gray because I think I took it just a tad brown, but it needs to be a little bit darker. Let me hold this where I can see it a little bit better for a moment. I still need a little bit more brown in there. I darkened it enough, but okay, we'll leave that alone for now. And now let's mix some of these beautiful little peachy pinks, and mostly pinks. Let's get us a little bit of white. And a little bit of Winsor yellow, or Winsor yellow. That's about as yellow as what? The sunshine. Okay, as you can see, that's really, really pink, and I see some of those spots in there actually, but I want to tone it down just a little bit. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of Naples just to soften that color a little bit. I definitely want to keep it in the pink family, but I just don't want it to be that kind of a pastel pink. This works a little better for me. Now, are you seeing those colors down in? Just blasting off of these, off the bottom of these clouds a little bit. And I want to take a little bit of this and let's purple it just a tad. I see a place or two where we might want a little bit of a purple hue. So the only thing I'm doing is picking up a little bit of the Payne's Gray. And I could go and get the ultramarine out. If you would prefer to do that, then that's perfectly acceptable. You'll get a more true purple. But I think that this is going to give us a nice little color. See, the further away that we get from that sun, the more purpley, we'll call it purpley, these highlights are. All right, and the last color we're going to actually blend is going to be this orange of this sun ray. I'm thinking that instead of softening that too much, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of lemon yellow. It's the Winsor lemon. Because I don't want that sunbeam to actually be too mellow. That's a pretty intense little sunbeam right there. So I'm going to take a little bit of the lemon, just to orange it up a little bit further. And I think that's good. All right. Now, on down in here, we may work on that a little bit next week. Haven't decided whether we're going to do anything further down in this tree line. We'll step back at the end of this class and decide, but y'all can give me your thoughts. I'm thinking, you know, this is just so dark you can actually strain your eyes trying to figure out what to do down in here. And for this being our first painting, I think we're going to leave it just less intense and just more of a use your imagination kind of a painting, and we will move forward from here. All right, I'll see you in the painting video. Nice mixing. Bye-bye.